We don't need oil.
Keep it in the soil.
We don't need coal.
Keep it in the hole.
Can you tell me why Friends of the Earth are here on this protest today?
Well, because it's really important that we stop using fossil fuels, and the burden shouldn't all be on us as householders, as consumers, to stop using it. We need to leave fossil fuels in the ground. We know already that 80% of the known fossil fuels on the books of companies and state companies around the world have to stay in the ground if we're to have a good chance of meeting the temperature goals of the Paris Agreement. So there's no point in looking for more oil and gas. My analogy is it's like if you're giving up chocolate for Lent, you don't go buying lots and lots of chocolate in the weeks before Lent. I'm not going to eat this, I'm just going to keep it in my kitchen to remind me why I'm not going to eat it. That's what the government's trying to do now, saying, oh, let the companies come and find more oil and gas and we'll tax you, the end user, not to use it. They need to leave it in the ground. They look like they're capitulating to the fossil fuel industry, and until they at least let TDs debate this bill, they supported the declaration of a climate emergency just a few weeks ago, and now they're saying TDs can't even debate what that means in practice. Until they let TDs debate that bill and do their job, they won't get any support for any other measures they take on climate action. This is so cynical, so hypocritical, that they basically, everything else stops now until they let TDs do their job.
Yeah, Breed's and People Before Profit's Climate Emergency Measures Bill, which is about keeping fossil fuels in the ground in this country, which is the central demand of the global movement to stop drilling for oil and gas, has been yet again sabotaged by the Fine Gael government. It's really stunning hypocrisy. At the weekend, Leo Varadkar goes on national television, says he's heard the message from the people that we need climate action, radical climate action, and then a couple of days later he used underhand, dirty tricks to sabotage a bill that seeks to stop fossil fuels being drilled for, and indeed he also in the same day issued new licences to American and Chinese multinationals to drill for oil and gas. It's shocking hypocrisy, but we need to respond now with people power, and there's a big planned protest on Tuesday the 11th when the Dáil reconvenes, and we're urging people who are angry about this sort of climate sabotage by the government to get out in the streets on Tuesday the 11th.
You're from Trócaire. Why are you here today supporting the protest here?
I'm policy advisor with Trócaire, and we're here. We've been supporting this bill all the way along. We've been working on the issue of fossil fuels because it's perhaps one of the most concrete, compelling examples of how disconnected the rhetoric is around climate change with what we've said we're going to do, with what we've committed to do, what our political leaders have committed us to do. So we believe if we don't get this right on fossil fuels, then we don't stand a chance on climate change. We know we have to keep the vast majority of fossil fuels in the ground, so it makes no sense to keep looking. No credible climate plan involves continued exploration for fossil fuels. The people that we work with in communities in the poorest countries in the world are on the front lines of this crisis. They are fighting for their lives, and yet people are fighting to protect this industry, and it's just not right.